welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber HeckPup, and I was given a Brew challenge to build Pyrogoyf Typal with bonus points if I don't play Tarmogoyf. Pyrogoyf was the inspiration for this challenge. This card has been showing up in decks like Red Stompy just as a top-end kind of standalone finisher. Sometimes you copy it with Fable the Mirror Breaker, which is an interaction this deck features. But Pyrogoyf triggers off other Lurgoyfs too, which makes it even more insane in a deck where playing another Lurgoyf is a thing you could do. Which brings us to 4 Nethergoyf and 4 Barogoyf in this deck. These are the primary threats, primary win cons. Pyrogoyf there to finish them off at the end, alongside 4 Lightning Bolts and a Tarfire. Get that Kindred instant in here. Got a lot of burn in this deck. The goal here is pretty simple. Disrupt just enough to get 20 damage across. Our disruption is Thoughtseize, some removal spells in Molten Collapse, Lightning Bolt, Tarfire. Hymn to Tarok featured here. I get to play with that one. I'm pretty excited. Another burn spell that also adds a unique and weird card type to the graveyard is Invasion of Tarkir. I have no additional dragons to boost this at all, but it's a 2-mana shock with upside. We've also got Fear of Missing Out, which is an enchantment and a creature if it goes to the graveyard, as well as just a powerful combat object for getting extra damage through the battlefield. Mishra's Bauble, world famous artifact that's really good at just going to your graveyard. Liliana of the Veil is our planeswalker in the deck. Fable is another enchantment. Troll of Khazad-dûm is a creature that could deposit itself into the graveyard while fixing the mana, which also turns on the 2 reanimates in the deck. Worst thing you could do in Legacy is spend 3 mana on a card and it just dies, so let's get that back. Between the Fear of Missing Out, the Barogoyf, and the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and the Liliana, there's a bunch of ways to just accidentally end up with a creature in your graveyard. Reanimating a Pyrogoyf ahead of schedule gets all the burn going early. This deck can do the full 9 card types that exist in regular constructed Magic. They're all here. And the sideboard is basically just a bunch of stuff for combo decks. Curse Totem for Nadu, Damping Sphere and Blood Moon for Eldrazi or anyone else with a greedy mana base or try to cast too many spells, Null Rod for Mystic Forge, Storm, etc. Some Pyroblast for blue decks also help versus combo like Show and Tell. Little extra removal, and my favorite card in the sideboard that may or may not come up, a 1-of Living Death. If we find ourselves in a grindy matchup, something like Cradle Control or a Delver match where our removal goes back and forth for a long time, and there's a good chance the counterspells have been boarded out. A deck with Supreme Verdict, anything like that. If there's a Pyrogoyf and 1 or 2 other Goyfs in your graveyard and you cast Living Death, some stuff's going to happen. And the game might just end on the spot. This may or may not come up, but I'm excited I get to even put it in the 75 anywhere. Some of my more savage builds, as I iterated on this deck, had it in the main, but it's not good enough for that. There it is, though. This is pretty classic. My concerns here are Legacy is really fast and powerful, and we're playing a pretty nuts and bolts, removal, discard, play some creatures kind of Magic game. But there are Legacy decks that aren't well set up to get Thoughtseize into Hymn to Tarok. We do have quite a bit of efficient removal in the deck. Barogoyf and Pyrogoyf, if we get there versus any sort of mid-range kind of thing like Red Stompy or Eldrazi, they will probably be bigger than what my opponent's doing. I've got some basic lands to play on, so I'm not super worried about Wasteland. I've built this as well as I could with the stipulations attached, and I'm excited to try it. This is Rakdos Goyfs from HeckPup. 3-for-1 Trading is having a New Year sale that starts on Wednesday, January 8th. Their online store has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and old school players. Go to shop.3for1trading.com or use the QR code to sign up on their site and be the first to know when their promotion starts and new deals go online. I'm on the draw for round 1, only 1 land in my hand, but it is a land that casts 3 of the spells and enables the curve of Urborg into him, no matter what land I draw on turn 2. Obviously worried about Wasteland here, but we're gaming. A basic island Tameo. Got there immediately. Yeah, I'm just going to Thoughtseize my opponent. Ooh, the Bug Beans. An opponent of class and culture here. Daze does mess up a bunch of stuff I would like to do this game. Murktide Regent, I guess, is the scariest thing in this hand. They can't cast Witherbloom Command next turn. Ponder into Wasteland's kind of a beat. It's Ponder or Daze for me. I think I'm going to take the Daze, because I kept this hand on the strength of Hymn to Turok, and I would like that to be part of the game. Please don't play a Wasteland. Oh, they actually can cast Witherbloom Command because of my Urborg. I missed that for a second. There's the Ponder. If they do waste me, though, I'll just Thoughtseize them again. Do not shuffle, play to Underground Sea. Thoughtseizing me, alright, have a look. Multiple 2-drops that are scary in my hand right now. Hymn to Turok, Fear of Missing Out, and Thoughtseizing another Goy for all plays I'm happy to make. Took the Hymn to Turok. Good call. That's how you avoid getting 2 for 1 here. A Thoughtseize into Goyf sounds pretty good. And I am going to commit this fetch land to actually being a fetch land. Thoughtseize you. Here's these cards again. Witherbloom Command, Murktide Regent. Don't want to play against Murktide. The hand is Witherbloom and Verdant Catacombs. Volcanic Catacombs. Coming in Modern Horizons 4. It's fetch lands that get 3 land types. That's where we're headed. It's coming. Okay, the Tameo replacing these cards I've discarded over time is annoying. But right now, at this exact moment in the history of the Earth, my opponent doesn't have any good cards. Here we go. There's a clue. There's the Catacomb. And they're passing the turn. I could play around Daze, but they probably don't have that many of them in the deck. I don't want to take a bunch of damage here. Yeah, I'm just going to cast Fable. If they counter it, another Goyf is bigger. Okay, Force of Will, pitching a Tameo. That was going to get countered either way. And the race is on. These clues out of Tameo versus the cards that I draw from my deck. I'm set up on basics at this point. I don't care about Wasteland anymore. A land does flip Tameo this turn, but Nether Goyf's really big. I'm pretty good at pressuring Tameo. Beanstalk. That card's good. Land still flips Tameo. Bad lands. Right, I'm going to play Fear of Missing Out and discard Ancient Tomb. I don't think I want that anymore. Drew one anyway. Life is good. Attack my opponent. I don't have Delirium, which means FOMO doesn't get 2 combat steps. I would have to draw something like Troll of Khazad-dûm or Mishra's Bauble. Lightning Bolt gets me Delirium. Got a lot of draws here. But I was pretty relying on that Fable to find some action, and it didn't. Wasteland. I'm beyond caring about that. But it does represent 4 mana to activate 2 clues, or cast a Beanstalk and activate a clue. If they have Murktide right now, I'm in a lot of trouble. Tameo actually just dies if they flip it. So there might be some manipulation here where they actively don't want Tameo to flip, and then they pass the turn and draw on mine. 1 unknown in the hand. Please don't be insane. Murderous Cut. That's pretty good. Okay, Tameo's going to flip. This does put a creature in my graveyard, which means I can kill Tameo with Nether Goyf. But they did just draw a million cards. And this is where it falls apart, normally. From the Bug Bean side. Oh wait, this doesn't quite kill Tameo. Never mind. I lied. I'm 1 short. Tameo goes to 1. I'm going to take them off green while I can. They are in the spot that I love to be in with Bug Beans when I'm playing the deck of under some sort of small pressure, engines online, millions of cards represented. They could draw a bunch of air here and not actually get anywhere, but that's hard to do from this position. The good news is this is definitely a matchup where I boarded Living End. We're going to get to do that. Crack at clues. Drawing any of the other Goyfs at this point would be great, especially Pyro, obviously. Fable, all right. Well, let's finish off this Tameo before it can buy back the Murderous Cut and just bury me. I think I have to play out the Ancient Tomb because even though that's kind of bad, I would prefer it being in my hand. But this deck does play Spell Pierce. And right now I'm just trying to fade dying to things that I know that they could have. Cracking the clue. Brainstorm. Scary. They're looking at 8 cards right now. But something as simple as just like playing and copying Pyrogoyf could get me over the line here. Even if they stabilize against all this stuff. Green mana unlocked. Puts you to 9 to do it though. Another Brainstorm. This Witherbloom command might be gone by now. I have not given them a target for it. I'm actually just going to scratch that out, assuming that they have shuffled it away. There's none of the modes are useful on that right now. Unless they think pivoting onto Wastelanding me twice this turn is going to turn this game around somehow, which is preposterous. Okay, passed back. Fable found Pyrogoyf. I'm going to hold on to that. Just move into combat. In for 6. Are we going to get cut here? Okay, they just went to 3. I'm actually not going to play this Pyrogoyf. There's a good chance that their hand has Force Blue card in it, and casting any spell here is giving them a divination. And they clearly did not find the removal they were looking for last turn. This might be controversial, but I do think it's right. I just know from the Bugbean side, I've sat there plenty of times in life just thinking, please cast any spell. I need to draw 2 cards. But they are at 3. That's a magic number in my deck with 4x Lightning Bolt in it. And 3x Pyrogoyf. They resolved their Brainstorm. They were in the tank on it for a little bit. We'll see if they found the goods, I guess. They did not have the goods last turn. Have the goods materialized. Okay, we're just on Drain and Mill. They picked up a Hedge Maze. Murktide Regent. Yep, that's pretty good. 5 life, very different than 3. Drawing Lightning Bolt would be big here. Or Molten Collapse. Oh! Sometimes speak its name and it will appear. Consign to memory. Okay, so this just dies. Now I have an interesting choice to make, which is lead on Pyrogoyf. If they force Pyrogoyf, they go to 4, and then Molten Collapse. They force that, they go to 3. Can't quite kill them. I have a treasure, that rules. Pyrogoyf is on the stack. I'm trying to draw out the Force of Will here. There it is. The cards replacing themselves, not ideal for my long-term life expectancy, but it was pretty unlikely that they didn't have a force by this point. Pretty unlikely they don't have 2 forces also, but let's at least do something here. Wow, all right. Just a little... The 2-turn sequencing of holding the Pyrogoyf, and then obviously it was lucky to rip a removal spell that kills Murktide, but I gave myself that opportunity to get lucky. Pyroblast comes in. Living Death, let's go. That's coming in. Do I want Fatal Push? That kills things like Bowmaster, but my deck barely draws cards. It kills Tameo, that's really important, but so does Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast. I think Invasion of Tarkir has to chill. Blood Moon's really good against Bugbeans. Well, good enough. It's something that they have to respect. Okay, the goofball cards are coming out. This is probably going to happen most rounds, where like the shock pluses are coming out. Liliana's actually solid against them. Troll of Khazad-dûm accessing my basic swamp lets me jam Blood Moon a little more aggressively. I think they're going to bring in Graveyard Hate anyway, like Nile Spell Bombs or whatever it is they have. So I'm going to cut my Reanimates. I'm not quite as exposed to that. And they don't have anything I want in their deck. I'm not going to take a 3/3 Murktide out of their graveyard for 7 life. I like Bauble a lot. Just 1 more power. That game on that Nether Goyf would have been good at basically all points. I could shave a Troll now that my Reanimates are out. I still have 22 mana sources. But they are a Wasteland deck, and I'm bringing in Blood Moon. It might just be a Lightning Bolt, actually. I do want the ability to burn them out, but I haven't lost it entirely. And Lightning Bolt doesn't kill Murktide Regent, which is their primary win condition. I did consider cards like Bowmaster, Opposition Agent, just the normal black creature suite for this deck, and then decided it's Goyfin time. Ugh, okay. Got a mulligan this one. I will keep this one and bottom probably one of the Wastelands. I'm just really far away from actually using that. Or I could bottom Hymn to Tarak and try to waste them twice. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to bottom Hymn to Tarak and try to screw their mana. Please don't turn 1 Tameo. Please cast Ponder. Off of a non-basic land. Non-basic land. Ponder. Thoughtseize. Alright, well. My Wastelands cannot be taken by Thoughtseize. Took my FOMO. That's 3 card types in the graveyard immediately with this Wasteland. Another Goyf, another 1-drop. Okay, do they play a basic swamp, or are they just playing around this? Bobble. Wow. All right. This is actually interesting, because if I hold up the Wasteland, then they can't fetch Hedge Maze. All right, I'm just going to Thoughtseize them. Getting Veil of Summered here would be disappointing. Getting Dazed here is fine. That's like the same as Wastelanding them. Basic Swamp. That's not going to be a Daze or a Veil of Summer. Okay, Cycled Lorien revealed. Got Basic Island. Hydroblast, Sheoldred's Edict, Murktide Regent. And a Wasteland of your own. Okay. I'm going to take this Sheoldred's Edict. This Nether Goyf's got work to do. Murderous Cut on the top of the deck. That is a solid card to have at some point. Do they waste me here? Do they hold up Hydroblast? Do you want to get involved in this game with me? They know I have a fetch land. There's the waste. That means Murktide's still at least 2 turns away, which is what I want out of life. Okay, alright. Well, if you're going to Murderous Cut me, let's get to work. Here's a 5/6. Deal with it. Here comes the cut. We knew about that. Oop, maybe not. Yep, there it is. How could you not? And that did set Murktide back a little bit. Exiled 1 spell to that. There's the island. Living Death. Oh my god. We're back. I'm going to play another Nether Goyf. I could fetch Raucous Theater here. Get some selection. If they draw an island, Murktide is 1 point bigger than Nether Goyf for now. Okay, Ponder means they can't Murktide this turn. And they know I'm holding another Wasteland. Well, they can't just like play Tropical Island and wait. They can play a fetch land and wait. Raucous Theater. Lightning Bolt. Do I like this? I think so. A Wasteland, Lightning Bolt. I don't have any instants in my graveyard. Let's get some extra damage here. They can't afford to Hydroblast that because they're not going to have 2 basic islands in this deck. And I'm going to sit on this Wasteland to turn off Hedge Maze or any shuffle in the end step or upkeep. That lock them into drawing a second card off the Brainstorm that they may or may not have wanted to do. Murktide will be 7/7 here. Oh, 6/6. They didn't exile Lorien revealed. Interesting. Was that a mistake? Oh, they paid an extra mana. Well, I drew the best card I could draw. But I think they may have made a mistake anyway. Bang. Do they have some trick like Surgical Extraction myself to block? But Molten Collapse turned that off. All right. Yeah, they said in the chat, wow, big punt. They just sort of got lost in the sauce, realized I'm not a Dazed deck. They don't have black. Might as well save a card in my graveyard, but oops, now it's smaller than the creature. But then I ripped the removal spell anyway. They don't have to feel too bad. On to the next round, somehow undefeated. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here. Don't miss Magic Spotlight Foundations, January 3rd through 5th, 2025 at SCGCon Atlanta. Kick off the new year with Magic's most exciting new event. Compete in the brand new Foundation Standard format with $50,000 in prizes, 8 Pro Tour Aether Drift invites, and it's the only place to get the exclusive, borderless Terror of the Peaks promo card with art by the beloved Richard Kane Ferguson. All main event participants will get the exclusive Terror of the Peaks, but the top 128 will also earn a foil version of this breathtaking promo. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here, but only if you're part of the action. Come join me for Magic Spotlight Foundations at SCGCon Atlanta, January 3rd through 5th. Your sign-up link is in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 2. Opponent says, hi YouTube. Everyone say hi to Freak Nightmare. I'm going to keep my hand. Just good-looking Magic cards here. Hope I'm not dead. I also had a version of this deck that played Dragon's Rage Channeler, but I came to the conclusion that I think you get Dragon's Rage Channeler or Fable of the Mirror Breaker, but not both. Uh-oh, a Lotus Petal. This can't be good. There's just not enough deck space to play every single card I would want to. Gromox, please exile a red card. And not Burning Wish. Not Burning Wish. Echo of Eon shit. We're so dead. Okay, to the sideboard. LED. Basically, you just have to hope they whiff game 1. And if they pitched an Echo of Eons and played LED, they either have 2 Echoes or they have something much more horrifying. Okay, Entombed to different Echo. That's 2 down. All cards involved. And me without Force of Will anywhere in my deck. Still no discard. They've got a fresh 7. I just want to see more of their deck here. If they Thoughtseize me or do anything to get information, I'll just concede. Yikes. All right, I'm out. I'm out. You can't see this. Nullrod, Damping Sphere, come in. Pyroblast. Meltdown looks good enough. Saw a lot of artifacts. Surgical Extraction. maybe good enough. And Tarfire, Molten Collapse, Invasion of Tarkir, probably some number of Lightning Bolts. I actually like Reanimate. That's a way I could apply a lot of pressure for not a lot of mana, which the deck isn't actually that good at. Fable's really slow, so is Pyrogoyf. I need some in here, that's my win con. But I am concerned about it. I think I could back off Pyrogoyf a bit as well. How important do I think these Fables are versus these Lightning Bolts versus these Baubles? Obviously, my sideboard cards and my main deck discard are the most important cards I have. Lily, Thoughtseize, Hymn to Turok. That's the bread and butter. That can't be cut. Fear of missing out is how I can actually kill an opponent who's going quickly. Pyrogoyf costs 4. That's so much. Alright, sorry, Pyrogoyf. I think you're just out. I tried to leave you in. I tried to defend you. You all saw me do it. I also think Fable's probably better than Pyrogoyf. Okay, here we go. A Thoughtseize to start the game. I'm in. Keep. The opponent went to 6. I'm going to bobble them first, and then Thoughtseize them off of Badlands. Lotus Petal on top. Badlands, Thoughtseize. What else is going on over there? Entomb, Duress, Cabal Therapy, Dark Ritual. I could take the Lion's Eye Diamond and then surgically extract it. And then I wonder how good this deck is anymore at that point. Fel the Profane is also their starting black source, but I know they're drawing Lotus Petal. If I surgical Fel the Profane, they won't draw the Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to take Lion's Eye Diamond, because there's no priority window where I can let them entomb for Echo and then extract it before they cast it, if they sequence correctly. They're also really likely to Dark Ritual into Duress first. Yeah, I'll take LED. And I'll play a Bauble. And I'm going to wait to use this Bauble, because that's just one fewer thing for them to Duress. And I know I don't really need to act on the surgical until they commit the Duress to the stack. Drawing Wasteland here is actually sick. There's the Fel the Profane. Duress. In response, I will take Lion's Eye Diamond out of your deck and hope that that's really important. Okay, can we win? We've got Bowmasters. These Echoes are pretty bad at this point. Bowmaster, Shieldred, Song of Creation, Beseech the Mirror is the backbone. Okay, Urza Saga's in the deck. Make me wonder if I'm supposed to hold this Wasteland longer. But I'll know from Mishra's Bauble what they're going to draw next turn. Seeing this Reanimate in hand is really interesting. Kind of tells a story that's not really what's going on. Obviously, like, Reanimate's a card in my deck, but this looks almost like Rakdos Reanimator more than it looks like anything else right now. Okay, Bauble you in the end step. Vault of Whispers. Ancient Tomb. Thoughtseize. Okay. Do I care about this Thoughtseize? Entomb does very little anymore. If I Thoughtseize them, they might Entomb in response. Okay, I'll Thoughtseize. And if they don't Entomb in response, I'll just take Dark Ritual. But if they Entomb in response, Lotus Petal's gone, Vault of Whispers is shuffled away, and I still take Dark Ritual. They can put an Echo in the graveyard still, and cast it for 3. Yeah, I'll take this Entomb. And I'm going to play Wasteland but not use it. I think Vault of Whispers will be a better target in their Beseech the Mirror Mox Opal deck. They might just Therapy my Reanimate this turn. But this is about to go into the grindy phase, where my discard spells are mediocre and my lands are bad. If I could find a threat in the next draw step, I think I'm ahead. Okay, they're not giving me the Vault of Whispers. Playing around it. We're both prioritizing that, and I just drew the best card in my deck. Let's go. Sorry, opponent. It just be like that sometimes. That's probably not actually the best card. Probably something like Null Rod is a higher hit. I'm just going to hope they don't rip Beseech the Mirror off the top. One good draw deserves another, right? There's the Vault. It's in play. Dark Ritual. I'm going to waste the Vault in response. I don't want them to be left with the Lotus Petal. If they did just rip the goods. Wall Therapy, you know, it's in there. And now they actually can't Beseech the Mirror, because it costs 4. Well, they can. They just can't bargain it. They can tutor for next turn. Empty the wards. That was a great draw. Okay. Goblin versus Goblin. Come on, Pyrogoyf. I will be looting this Bloodstained Mire away. Urborg. Okay, so you attack for 5. I block 1. On the next turn, and I go to 6. The next turn, you attack for 3, and I go to 3. Okay, I'm going to play Urborg and not attack. I'm not dead here. The Fable being another blocker next turn changes the combat math. Here they come, block. I go to 6. We get a flip. Ooh. FOMO is sick here because it draws a card if you're Hellbent. It is not a condition of the draw. Look at your top card, Dark Ritual. And I'm just going to park the van here, even though I could afford to attack there and not lose the race. Heck yeah, very close to Splinter Twinning out here. I could make 1, 2, 3 FOMOs to get 3 combat steps next turn and then kind of move forward from there. Okay, they know I'm Rakdos Garbo now. If they send it turn 1, there's not a lot I could do. No Mind Break Traps in my sideboard. Yeah, I mean, this is still what I got. I'm going in. Yeah, this was a tough one to lose the die roll. Though my opening hand game 1 didn't have Thoughtseize in it, so it would have worked out the same. I would have played a land and then died. Okay, I've got Null Rod and Pyroblast. I'm going to keep. It doesn't get better than this on the draw. I just don't have 0 mana interaction that matters. I can counter an Echo on turn 2, like their turn 2, and then untap into Null Rod if we get that far. Deck full of discard, though. I don't have high hopes. LED. Opal. It is on. Lotus Petal. Ooh, the One Ring. Did I see that last game? It did. I didn't clock it if I did see it. Goodbye, good hand. Hello, medium hand. So we win this game on the play. I Pyroblast the Echo, they're Hellbent, I jam Null Rod, and then they do nothing. Welcome to the non-blue experience. Orcish Bowmaster. Could just die to that, like, immediately. Okay, they've passed the turn. Can I draw Pyroblast? Or Ancient Tomb? None of the above. Alright. I'm just going to Bloodstain Mire and pass. I think playing this Null Rod has to be my next objective. Like, what does a game look like where I wasteland them here? That does take them off 2 mana. But if they just play a replacement mana rock or artifact land, it's Jover. We're chaining Mox Opals. Oh god, we have the song. Oh no! Well, this is bad. Do I want to exile Lotus Petals in response? I might, actually. Hope this matters. It probably doesn't. Okay, they've got a Lion's Eye Diamond over there. And, okay, I just gave you a storm and hurt myself. Fellmire is in. LED draws 2. Another spot where Pyroblast would have probably won me the game. But it got shuffled away. Hardly fair. Thoughtseize, oh no! Goodbye, my sweet Null Rod. My plan revealed. Oh, they don't even care about Null Rod. That's even worse. They took Fear of Missing Out. Well, that's funny and disgusting. Yeah, they have a second Bowmaster in hand. If they found an Echo, I'm actually just dead right now. And if they haven't found an Echo, they still very well might. As soon as they find Echo, I'm done. Beseech the Mirror. That works too. Tendrils will get me here. Deadzos. Alright, yeah, this was always going to be the worst kind of matchup. And being on the draw for game 3 was a huge difference maker. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play for a change in round 3. No Thoughtseize in this hand, but I'm not going to mulligan a hand that looks like this. We've got the combo, if you've heard of it, Troll of Khazad plus Reanimate. And I'm pretty good at playing normal Magic here, if my opponent would care to engage me in that endeavor. Island. Ponder. Honest. Workmanlike. Demure. Mindful. Unfortunately, they did it off a basic land. It's a big bummer. Alright, I'm going to get Badlands, and then cycle Troll, or also Badlands. I could get Raucous Theater, but I'd like to play around Daze because this is kind of an important thing to happen. Reanimate. Ever heard of it? We've got a troll. This could be show and tell, could be some sort of control deck. We just don't really know yet, other than that they have at least one basic island and a ponder. 2 basic islands. Fascinating. Could still be show and tell or the full barrage of control decks that exist. Tap mana, then change their mind. That smells like a Brazen Borrower that they want to use on my turn. Attack with this troll. What do we got? Nothing. Okay. Fetch. Basic Swamp. Fable. I'm just going in. Apply pressure. That's all we do here. All I know. Fable resolved. End step Lorien revealed. Is this High Tide? Who has 3 islands in their deck in 2024? Almost 2025. Might be 2025 by the time you all see this. Yeah, it is 2025. I'm recording it from the past, as I always do. High Tide. Okay, it is High Tide. It is actually High Tide. What do I do about that information? Okay, yes. And I will have 4 mana because of the Goblin Shaman. Fear of Missing Out gives me 4 card types. Yeah, we're not going to have time for Missing Out. Though if I keep the Wasteland, Nethergoyf might be lethal here. Yeah, I'm going to discard the second Fable. Thoughtseize, what's up? That's really good. A Wasteland. Attack. There's already a sorcery in the graveyard. There's no instants in the graveyard, so if I could Thoughtseize a Force of Will here and then play Pyrogoyf, that is exactly lethal. Or if they Force of Will the Thoughtseize, that works too. As long as Pyrogoyf resolves. High Tide, Jace Wielder, 3 times Spiral's Mind's Desire, Pact of Negation works too. Just doing an instant check. Yeah, we're good. We did it! Pyrogoyf is lethal! Count it, count it, count it. I have to ask you a question, and the answer is Goyf. Right upstairs on that one. Well, there's the deck coming together. Pyroblast comes in. Damping Sphere comes in. Big time. I'm just going to look up real quick the actual words on High Tide. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds an additional blue. Does that effect come from High Tide, or does it grant the island an additional blue? Because Damping Sphere specifically says if a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, but if a land is tapped for 1 mana, but High Tide creates an ability that is separate of the land, then this won't actually stuff that. I don't actually know the answer to that. We'll find out soon. But Damping Sphere comes in against Eddie, casting millions of spells in a turn. We're still doing that. I do think Surgical's good enough because I play a bunch of discard. If I could discard a Time Spiral or a High Tide and then zoot them out of the deck, that works. Once again, the battle's coming out. Starfire's coming out. Pyrogoyf is the type of reach that, like, High Tide is a deck that can't actually win until turn 3. Their nut draw wins on turn 3. I think they might, if they play Candelabra, I think they can win on turn 2, but they have to go Candelabra into High Tide and untap both lands and to turn about into whatever, and, or like multiple High Tides after resolve. Yeah, their normal draws can present a win as early as turn 3. I don't think I need Molten Collapse here, though it does kill Candelabra. But I'm not worried about that. That's not how I'm going to fight this match. It's probably Lightning Bolts from here. I do like Lightning Bolt. The ability to finish a game earlier than my opponent expects is useful. If they do juke onto some creature, it's useful there. Okay, this is the plan. Double Thoughtseize, attack you. Done. I can safely cut Wastelands here because they won't do anything, but I am also a deck trying to resolve 3 and 4 drops, and the flavor text of Wasteland, which is tap to add a colorless, is super relevant. And if my opponent suddenly reveals that they like splashed blue for, or splashed green for Veil of Summer, the Wasteland kicks on. I'm just going to play the basic to start it off. Forest Pitching to Fairy's Realm. Wow. Nice. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player chooses artifact, creature, land, or enchantments. All non-token permanents of that type phase out. That's a sweet one. That's how they beat like a bunch of Damping Spheres or whatever it is they think I have. Okay, what were you hiding with that Force of Will last turn? Let's get another look. 2 High Tides and a Spiral. Well, that's really good. I think I take the Spiral and make them fight a payout, even though High Tide is the setup. All right, fine. I would prefer to take them off high tides because basically nothing in their deck works if they're not tiding, but I can't take them off both. And from this position, they have to draw a land and then also a payout for high tide before any of this stuff matters. Raucous Theater, let's go. Nethergoyf. I am going to put that on top so I can start applying pressure. I'm going to play Fear of Missing Out and Nethergoyf this turn. A FOMO, discard Wasteland, and then Nethergoyf, get in. I can get a creature into my graveyard easily with Troll of Khazad-dûm. So Lightning Bolt, Mishra's Bauble. Ooh, I could cycle Troll and then FOMO away the Fable. I don't hate that. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Anything to apply pressure here, I'll take. Badlands, re-FOMO. And if they counter this FOMO, I still get Delirium. Fable, that's Delirium. Attacking for 10, in for 6, then we get another 4. Okay, they are dead on board, but I have nothing if they just go for a combo here. And we got the GGs. 2-1, let's go. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4 with the nice little Thoughtseize Hymn Fable open, Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. I'm not very well set up to fight a Blood Moon here. Fable, okay. I don't like that either. Pyrogoyf. Okay, this is part of the plan we drew up, which is put Pyrogoyf in front of decks it's bigger than. Oh, you're Welder. Yikes. Okay. Well, if we're doing painter stuff, this got more complicated. Or maybe less complicated. I don't even know. All right, I'm taking Goblin Welder. Oh my god, I just realized a Yorion was revealed. What is going on over there? Opponent is out of their damn mind, and I'm here for it. Badlands Thoughtseize does look like a combo deck, though. I get to at least fake that till I make it. It dumped both of the lands that we saw. Figured correctly that Goblin Shaman plus Ancient Tomb will do most of what they need. Ancient Den. Other color revealed. Engineer. Fudge. 2 cards left in hand, though. Oh, but they still have a mana floating. They're going to play Painter, and then I just lose next turn. Oh, Pithing Needle. They already have the Grindstone? Yikes. Yeah, there's just, like, not even anything to be done here because my opponent's open just represented 4 mana on turn 2. I think I win this game on the play. With Thoughtseize, the Fable, him to rock them before they get anything going. I mean, to win the game is dramatic. They would probably just play Goblin Welder on turn 1 instead. Okay, they said, oops, that was not supposed to be a needle. That makes more sense, because why would you want Pithing Needle here when Grindstone wins the game? Oh god. They just said the top deck gods look kindly on them, though. They drew the Grindstone out of their 70 or 69 card deck. They got that nice hit. All right. Well, I'm dead. What the fuck? Well, it's fine, because if they had just clicked correctly, I'd be dead anyway. And, you know, scoreboard universe. But, you know, if you believe in any sort of deity, there they are. Okay, Meltdown, Null Rod come in, Fatal Push comes in. Surgical is not bad. We saw some graveyard stuff. I don't want a lot of Surgical going on. As in all cases, Invasion of Tarkir comes out. I don't know that I'm cutting Tarfire, though. It doesn't kill Painter. It does kill all the various goblins. And things like Oswald Fiddlebender, or whatever they're white for. I could back off the Reanimate a little bit. Him to Turok might not be that good if they use their graveyard as a resource. Kind of inclined to just play all my removal and kill them dead. play to the board a little bit more. Thoughtseize is pretty important, though. Troll of Khazad-dûm is worse if I don't have the reanimates in. All these other cards look really good, though. Maybe I'll only play one surgical. Let's get in there. Oh, Curse Totem. Hold on, hold on. Curse Totem turns off various engineers and welders, and things like Oswald and Reasons You'd Be White and Yorion. If I'm bringing a Curse Totem, I'm going to start cutting Tarfire, and I think those are doing a similar role. Okay, I'm going in like this. Tarfire kills Goblin Shem and tokens. Okay, I'll keep this. Turn 1 Nethergoyf, turn 2 Fable with some light interaction. The 1 of Surgical. Glad I cut the other one at the last second. Who needs 2? You want to draw exactly 1 in a game, and I've done that already. Opponent went to 6. I am going to fetch Badlands. That both gets a card in my graveyard and gets a land out of my deck while doing what I was going to do anyway. A Plains. Ghost Vacuum. Fudge. Okay, I'm going to attack with Nethergoyf. See if they take 1. Yeah, we got him. If I had played Fable first, they would have exiled the land from my graveyard and taken 0 damage. Yeah, who's the Fable deck now? Look at me. Yeah, they probably thought I was Rakdos Reanimator, which is a good guess, and I do care about my graveyard. And me with my Reanimates to the sideboard, feeling good. We have the Engineer, we have the Painter. Okay, I might just get curved out and die anyway. Painted it blue. I did not bring in my Pyroblast. I basically never do in situations like this. A Bauble. I'm going to discard these 2 lands. Thoughtseize FOMO. Okay. Bauble first. Bauble you. Let's get some info. You're drawing a Mox Opal that is on. Thoughtseize you. 2 Fables and a Pyroblast. All right, I'm going to take one of the Fables because I can strip them off with this Surgical, and then draw a card from FOMO from a Hellbent situation. Extract your Fables. I don't even know if that's good, but it is card advantage. Okay, they went after their own Fable instead, which leaves my Goyf large. Fear of missing out draws a card. I guess I could have attacked first and maybe cast a spell still this turn. Yeah, if I draw a 2-drop right here, I missequenced. Okay. Maybe better. Attack. And I'm just going to kill this Painter. This pushes more damage and turns off the Pyroblast in their hand. That turn worked out extremely well. And I know that their hand does not do actually anything here. Oh, they could take me off Delirium. That's what they could do with the battlefield. Another Fear. Okay. There's the Opal. There's the Plateau. And, all right, I didn't actually strip the Fable. Just remembering all these things. They can't cast the Pyroblast. They can tap their Ghost Vacuum. Null Rod, holy smokes. Okay, I'll just play that. And then it's use it or lose it on the Ghost Vacuum. Then I get to draw a card. Yep, took me off Delirium. My creatures are still big enough to fight, though. Back up Null Rod. And attack for a bunch. I expect the trade here because this Goblin Shaman is not going to do anything. I have a 2/3 creature and a Null Rod. They would need some kind of sweeper here, and they do get 3 looks at it. I don't know what's in this deck. Maybe they have Wrath of God. Maybe they play Pyroclasm. Plasm's not good enough. Kept a card. Whatever's in their hand was good enough to keep a card off of. Pre-War Formalware, rebuying the Painter's Servant. Yeah, cool. They are still very dead here, though, because I could copy FOMO, discard Null Rod, get Delirium, have a bunch of combats. Cool. That was fun. I really hate bringing in Pyroblast versus Painter, just hoping that they name blue. So I'm not going to do it. Null Rod already works versus the things I expected and the thing I didn't in the Ghost Vacuum. Meltdown. Yeah, these cards are just fine. All right. Same deck going in. Okay, I have a Lightning Bolt into a Null Rod. This looks good in this matchup, as far as I know. Wasteland, Fable, Molten Collapse, all these cards are good. Arid Mesa. Oh, I could just Null Rod now. Is this how I want to play this game? I don't think so. But if I Null Rod now, I could Fable next turn. What does that actually do? I don't think I'm going to lose this turn. I'm actually going to play Blue to Delta and pass. So I can grab basic Swamp if they are on a moon plan here. And I can bolt any of the 2-drops I've seen their deck play, including Stoneforge Mystic, which I have not seen, but I do suspect is in the deck now that I've seen Formalware. Saga. Staff of the Storyteller. I'm in love. Yeah, this is super cool. Now I wish I had played my Nethergoyf, because I don't actually want to bolt the Spirit token. I'm going to get my Raucous Theater. Badlands. Do I want this? This is my second colored mana source. I will keep this. Put it on top. My plan here is Wasteland plus Nethergoyf. Take out the Saga. That's the one I'm worried about. They're an Ancient Tomb deck, so taking out the normal land is not how this is going to work for me. And then next turn, I can Null Rod plus Lightning Bolt, or play Fable, or play Molten Collapse. Come on! Opponent has no chill. Painter. You get to attack here. Thoughtseize. I could Bolt plus Thoughtseize, or I could Bolt plus Null Rod. I think I want to Bolt plus Null Rod. Bolt the Painter. I'll start there. And then Null Rod turns off the Staff of the Storyteller. And I'm going to have to work through this Saga the old-fashioned way. There is a Meltdown somewhere in my deck. They did not miss a land drop. This is happening. Draw for turn. Big one. Lightning Bolt. That's not a small one. Oh, I can go Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Saga tokens arrive as 3/3, or arrive as 2/2, and then 3/3/4/4. Yeah, I'm going to attack here because my plan is to bolt the construct on arrival. I can bolt and then collapse my way through these. And I'll wait until their turn, actually, because if they commit the activation thinking that they're going to have a big construct, that's good for me. Okay. If I bolt it in my end step, they might pivot to a different plan, which I'm not really interested in. My treasures don't work because of my Null Rod. They could get Pithing Needle here. Things like in Soul Guide Lantern doesn't really matter. Anything, any Mox Opal Lotus Petal kind of thing just doesn't work with Null Rod in play. Okay, fetch land would be a huge draw here. If I can get Molten Collapse, Con Queso. Badlands. Okay. I think Descend works from anywhere. Permanent was put into your graveyard from anywhere. Okay, so looting away this Badlands works too. I'm going to lose the Thoughtseize with it. I think we're past that. Okay, Molten Collapse, Con Queso. Destroy Construct and Mox Opal. Now the race is on. If I had known somehow through my third eye that I would draw a black source immediately under the Thoughtseize, I probably would have kept it. But I'm just looking for creatures that'll finish the game here, or stabilize for me. Something like a Pyrogoyf or Pyrogoyf here is a heater. Portable hole. I'm in the hole. Do they want the Null Rod? They do. That's lucky, because I have another one. And this gives me a turn to use my treasures. All right, cashing in a card draw, temporarily. Okay, opponent's hurting over there. Whatever's in that hand is not castable. They're stopped attacking. They are in damage control mode right now. That's so funny. That's such a sick draw. They temporarily remove my Null Rod, which I have a replacement for in hand, just in time for me to draw Mishra's Bauble underneath. They are absorbing the big 4 damage attack, and the re-Null Rod here. I get a draw off Bauble, and I have big damage coming. Wasteland. Opponent has not played a land in a long time here, and one of them is non-basic. Wow, and we are 3-1. This is actually kind of the perfect match to ask for, because they are engaging in Magic the same kind of way we are. They have a combo kill, but in terms of like actually playing out 3, 4, 5 turns of a game and value permanence and exchanges and combat math, this is a really good matchup, or a really fun matchup for us. I don't know if it's good in terms of percentage. No one has ever played this deck before in history, but this is the type of matchup we're looking for. That was sick. On to the final round. I'm on the draw in the final round. A little nervous about Wasteland, but I have Troll of Khazad-dûm, and you can't make that part of your mana base if you're not willing to keep hands on the strength of it. Bauble, Flooded Strand. I already suspect Delver. Who is playing Mishra's Bauble other than me? This is an outrage. Oh, was there a companion? Oh no, this is an effects window? Okay, I see. That was an effects zone. I'm still triggered from the Yorion, Secret Yorion last round. Speaking of secret Yorions, I also have the Invasion of Tarkir in my hand, which is an exciting card to put on the stack, or maybe just discard directly to fear of missing out. Flooded Strand number 2. What do we got? What's happening? Volcanic Island Ponder. Yeah, I think this is either Izzet Temur or Grixis Delver, which means I don't want to discard my Invasion of Tarkir. I want to hold on to that as a potential removal spell, then play other cards like FOMO and Fable up the curve. Opponent just said, please God, tell me I'm not about to get poxed 2 rounds in a row. Well, kudos to your last round opponent, but I'm not poxing. I wish. Instead, I have fear of missing out. There's Daze. That puts another card type in my graveyard. This Badlands was a huge draw, both for what if I get Wastelanded concerns, and also I just have 3 drops in my hand that I'd like to cast. Lots of them, in fact. These Goyfs are already 6/7s. What's up? Wasteland did happen. All right, we're just ripping Badlands like crazy. Is it time to battle? I think I'm just going to put this on the stack. I would like to have killed a Delver of Secrets with this, or an Orcish Bowmaster or whatever, or a Stoneforge Mystic even. I don't know what they're doing over there. But I would also like to spend my mana. No dragons to reveal. 2 to you. Okay. Let's play that turn cycle over again. They're holding the Volcanic Island we've seen. Now they have a battle to protect, which I can attack and flip into a dragon. Any of my Goyfs are plenty big enough. Pyrogoyf could just zap it. Underground Sea revealed. Okay, so they are Grixis and they have Volcanic Island in their hand. I think I want to play the Fable. That's just the one that represents the most cards directly. Like, I'm not just gonna get Fatal pushed out of all my value here. Daze gets anything I would play. And Goblin Token plus Lightning Bolt flips my battle. There's mana in the pool. Petty Theft. Effective. And that's exactly the type of play that I let on Fable for. Any of the Pyrogoyfs that I played would just be back in my hand with no gain. Now I have this Fable going. I'd love to see a land, especially if it's Ancient Tomb. Thoughtseize. Okay. Are we playing Bowmaster? Well, I'll bolt that before the ability. Okay. Bolt the Bowmaster. They want to force this Lightning Bolt. That's actually great. That paves the way. Force Pitching Brainstorm. Deal. Okay. I will not discard any cards. I can. Do I want to? I could discard 1 here, and if I hit a land, it's just insane. Do I want to cast this Thoughtseize, I guess is the question. Alright, I'll do some looting. Could dump the Pyrogoyf, or save the Pyrogoyf as my big hit. I think I'm going to loot away the Pyrogoyf. Just 1. Okay, this gives me a card to play. This rules. Thoughtseize you into Nether Goyf is a perfectly good sequence. 2 lands over there. Took some damage, but at least the coast is clear. 5/6. I'm coming for that battle. Ripped Brainstorm right after getting Thoughtseized. Solid. There's the Misty. I assume the Scalding Tart is gone by now. I'm just going to clear these. If my opponent does have something like Fatal Push or Molten Collapse, Nether Goyf is fine because I'm about to start dropping real creatures that are unraceable. Murktide Regent would be a little concerning, but Pyrogoyf still races that, even. Yep, just the perfects. All good. I'm ready. I guess if the last card in hand is Daze, I am no longer ready. Thoughtseize, no good. No room for that. Pyrogoyf, get in. It's up to you, big fella. I need Pyrogoyf and copies of Pyrogoyf to race this game out of reach for my opponent here. I am just F6'd hoping that I get to see another day. Mishra's Bauble. That's a look. Could also target yourself to get some extra selection. Yep, did that. Okay, not afraid of the Crackback, or accepted that you're not going to be blocking anyway. Either one is a reasonable position to have. And did not shuffle, so this is... Oh, okay. Did shuffle. But shuffling on my turn to turn on Fatal Push. Now the Thoughtseize is actually really good, though, because I could force the action on a removal spell before I decide if I'm going to copy my Pyrogoyf. As long as I don't fling Murktide Regent in response, this is fine. Petty Theft in response, copy it. Scalding Tarn in there again. Okay. I'm going to attack the battle with both creatures, so they actually do have to block. A chump. And a block. Okay. Cleared those out of the way. I'm at 13. I need to draw a land next turn to play and copy my Pyrogoyf all at once. There's the Tarn I saw. Playing that out could mean that there is a Surveil land in the deck, or that they just drew Force of Will. Okay, it's a backup 3/3 Murktide. Come on deck. Untapped mana source right now for the stabilization. Let's go. Wasteland, Pyrogoyf. Copy Pyrogoyf. We're doing it. Both creatures attack Invasion of Tarkir. This would put me to 11 life, and I have a 4/4 blocker. Because they can play Brazen Borrower. This would put me to 1 this sequence. Okay, if my opponent draws a removal spell or a lightning bolt, or a way to make Murktide region bigger, they can win all of those situations. Okay, don't rip me out. Here we go. This has been a great game no matter what happens here. I am all in. I'm at 1 life. Please draw a land and then concede. Just the big Murktide attacking. Not falling for this shit. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'll take the 7. I'm not going to chump block when I'm not going into bolt range. And when this attacks, I could just kill the Brazen Borrower outright. Okay, I don't care about Wasteland. Okay, now I have a bunch of Wastelands. What do I do with that? Okay, can I just win? If I copy, whenever a dragon you control attacks, deals 2 to any target. I could attack with 2 dragons, distributing 4 hits. I could also play Fear of Missing Out, copy that, get multiple combats. Fear of Missing Out, copy Reflection of Kiki Jiki is actually a combo. Okay, I'm going to play my land, play FOMO, discard Pyrogoyf, draw a land. I've already played one. If I copy Fear of Missing Out and attack, Fear untaps Reflection, which can make another Fear. Is this just simpler than I think it is? If I make 2 dragons and kill, then Brazen Borrower can't block. They take 4, 9. Oh, they're just dead. All right. I didn't need to reveal the Fear of Missing Out here. Okay, copy this Defiant Dreadmaw. Thundermaw. Defiant Thundermaw. I defy you. Okay. 2 here. 2 here. 2 here. 2 here. All right. Invasion of Tarkir boarded out every round and then goes completely insane in the finals. Fatal Push comes in. Pyroblast comes in. I could try to Blood Moon this opponent. I don't think that's completely out of bounds. If I just get run over, it's no good, but I'm going to think about it. I'm probably not going to do it, but I am going to think about it. Okay, Tarfire, Lightning Bolt, all for sure happening. I'm to Turok, medium. The Thought Seizes were okay, actually. Like, not... I cast multiple Thought Seizes that game. None of them actually discarded a card, but they were all solid. I guess the first one I cast, where it was... I just didn't know what was going on over there, and I just lost 2 life versus 2 lands was bad. But the one where I flushed out the Brazen Borrower pre-combat, so I didn't get blown out when I tried to copy my creature, that was actually really good, despite not being that high impact. I think a Thoughtseize is going to come out. At least one. Maybe they're all bad. So knowing what's going on over there is really nice. Liliana, Pyrogoyf. The Reanimates might not be that good if my life total's under pressure. I still like the Trolls if I'm mooning, and if they're just a Wasteland deck, getting access to my basics is good. I could cut a Pyrogoyf just because it's so chunky, or I could board out a Mishra's Bauble because it's low impact on its own. I don't think this is a Living Death matchup, though this is one that I mentioned might be a Living Death matchup in the deck tech. That might not actually be true. I think I'm just going to go another Thoughtseize out, try to just make my hands as good as they could be. There's one Thoughtseize still in here. I can check if I need to. Okay. Basic lands, removal, and some stuff. Okay. How sick was that Invasion of Tarkir last game, though? Nice. Not only did it pop off at the end, but in that turn, the first turn I attacked with Pyrogoyf, it forced a block where otherwise my opponent could have just taken 10 and beat me on the backswing, but it forced a double chump block because the 4/4 would have been good enough to swing the race on its own. High impact. All right, I'm going to go cheeseball mode. Wasteland you. Bauble you. See a bauble over there. There's Blood Moon as well. There's multiple Blood Moons. Access to my basics is here. Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is potentially delirious, depending on this trigger. Not delirious. They're seeing a lot of cards. I think I'm still going to commit to the Wasteland Life. If I could just back them off of Murktide Regent for a while, that would be great. No land. Attack for 1. We might just get a cheese ball double Wasteland game. Fetch for my basic mountain. And I'm going to bolt in their draw step, upkeep. I'm going to bolt in their draw step. That way, if they have Force of Will, they don't get to select to try to find a land here. And I don't mind if they do Force of Will that lightning bolt, so I don't mind giving them an extra draw to find it. Okay, Raucous Theater, Pyroblast. Yeah, I'm going to try to get up to these 3s in my hand rather than getting Nethergoyf down now. My opponent's clearly struggling. And I think if I slam Blood Moon here, they're in trouble. And if they force the first one, that's just an enchantment in my graveyard, whatever. We're in. Can we get a non-game for the 4-1 in the finals? They're going to clean up now. Dump to Murktide Regent. Big Pyrogoyf. I'm actually going to pump the brakes here a little bit and just play Nethergoyf with Pyroblast backup. Because if I can resolve one of these things off my next land drop and never care about Force of Will, that's great. And they're going to clean up again. Discarded Daze. Fatal Push. Goyf's going in. All right, I'll play this other Blood Moon. Just back it up. We're going coast to coast on Nethergoyf now. In case they come up with basic Island Hydroblast. Let's keep the boot on the neck. Okay, they found a mountain. We've seen Dragon's Rage Channeler in the deck. We could assume that Lightning Bolt is in there as well. Here we go. Here is the land I've been waiting for. I'm going to play Pyrogoyf pre-combat, because if we do end up in a fight and I lose it somehow like double force, then I get the extra damage. They did have the force. Counter target blue spell. We got the GGs. Let's go. 4-1 result with Rakdos Goyfs. This is pretty refreshing coming out of a legacy format where games were decided on or around turn 2. We definitely couldn't have played some honest mid-range Magic like this a month ago. It's still probably not responsible to do this, but if you get a respectable matchup thread, if decks like Delver are returning to the top of the format, if you build your sideboard with the expected metagame in mind, or tune your main deck slots for the type of removal you need or the type of interaction you need, we definitely just did something. I have done worse with better looking decks. We were one die roll away from a trophy here. That play draw determination against that Storm deck in round 1, like that's pretty good. If I were seriously iterating on this deck more, I think I would lean harder into the Troll Reanimate stuff because it is just such a proven powerful interaction in Legacy that people have to respond to. I would meme a little less. I think Tarfire, Invasion of Tarkir, and Liliana are... I literally included them just to say we could get the Goyfs to full size, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily good. Maybe the one Tarfire is fine, but the Liliana, I went pretty deep to justify that. The Invasion of Tarkir is actually just bad, even though it did have a heroic moment in this league. The discard felt good, just always knowing what my opponent was up to between Bauble Thoughtseize and him just keeping their hand empty or knowing what I needed to play around. Fable and Mirror Breaker remains just an insane Magic card. Pyrogoyf. It's in a bunch of sideboards. You boarded in half the top decks of the format anyway. Why not just main deck 4? Proof of concept. This was a lot of fun. Heck Pup, I hope you enjoy what I came up with for you. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.